There's a method the world's wealthiest have used for generations, a technique spoken of only in whispers. You won't find it in any ordinary book. This is the true secret of Joseph Murphy, a concept once suppressed for being far too powerful. It isn't about positive thinking. It's about something much deeper, the induction of subconscious certainty. This is the hidden key that can make your mind believe abundance is already your reality, long before any external evidence appears. And once the subconscious is convinced, the entire universe rearranges itself to match that conviction. Consider for a moment, why do some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, opportunities, and miracles, while others, despite their hard work, constantly face closed doors? Is the difference truly talent, fate, or something that lies beyond what our eyes can see? Joseph Murphy left clues, scattered like fragments of a secret code, revealing that true transformation occurs when the subconscious is persuaded to accept a new reality as final. It's not enough to visualize or repeat empty phrases. You must implant an unquestionable truth deep within your mind. But how is this done? How do you convince your subconscious that you are already living in abundance when, in the physical world, resources are scarce, bills are piling up, and life feels overwhelmingly heavy? The answer isn't in forcing your mind with hollow repetitions, but in cultivating a state of certainty so profound that doubt simply ceases to exist. The mind doesn't argue when conviction is absolute. The subconscious obeys, silently shaping reality to fit the command it has been given. This is the crucial point that almost no one talks about. You don't attract what you anxiously desire. You manifest what you already recognize as yours in your deepest self. It's not about dreaming of wealth, but about living internally as if it were already present, infusing every cell, every thought, and every emotion with this truth. It is about moving through life with the feeling that abundance isn't a distant prize, but your fundamental nature. This is precisely where so many people fail. The conscious mind demands proof. It needs to see in order to believe. The subconscious, however, only needs a clear command charged with emotion and certainty. When that happens, something shifts in the invisible field around you. It's as if a new frequency is emitted, and the universe inevitably responds. What I'm revealing here is not theory. It is a real, proven path taken by those who dared to step into the role of creators of their own lives. And I'll go further. The final revelation you will hear will be the most powerful of all, capable of forever changing how you relate to money, abundance, and the universe itself. So pay close attention. Every word is a piece of this puzzle. As you follow this journey, allow your mind to question the beliefs that have always seemed like absolute truths. Ask yourself, must I truly struggle so hard to achieve something that in essence already exists? Does the universe demand effort, or does it demand trust? What if abundance is already within me, simply waiting to be activated? Perhaps you've never heard it put this way, but the truth is, what keeps you from abundance isn't a lack of ability or opportunity. What separates you from the life you desire is the internal conviction that it isn't yet yours. As long as the subconscious remains unconvinced, any manifestation practice is fragile, unstable, like sand slipping through your fingers. But when certainty takes root, everything is transformed. This is the secret Joseph Murphy wanted you to grasp. It's useless to ask the universe for things if, deep down, you continue to believe you are unworthy, incapable, or that it's impossible. The key is to persuade the subconscious, and that is what I will show you step by step. Before we proceed, I need to tell you something important. What you are about to discover can dramatically accelerate the changes in your life, but only if you allow your mind to be open. To help you take this step, I've left a special gift in the first pinned comment. Click the link when you feel that inner calling and allow yourself to dive even deeper into this knowledge. It will be your next leap in consciousness. Now take a deep breath. The path begins here. And remember, the final revelation will be the most powerful, the one that can flip the switch inside you once and for all. So, prepare yourself, because what is coming is not just a script, but a transformative experience that can forever change how you live and manifest your reality. The secret to convincing your subconscious that you already live in abundance isn't about mechanically repeating phrases, but about immersing yourself in an experience so vivid and intense that the mind can no longer distinguish imagination from reality. Joseph Murphy said the subconscious is like fertile soil. It doesn't argue or question, it simply receives and germinates the seeds you plant. The question is, what seeds have you been planting every day? Without realizing it, have you been sowing more fear than faith, more scarcity than prosperity? The subconscious is like an obedient child who believes whatever it is told with sufficient emotion. If you convince it that the world is hostile and money is hard to come by, it will accept that as truth and work silently to make that experience a constant in your life. But if you convince it that you are already surrounded by abundance, that wealth is natural, and that life is always conspiring in your favor, it will accept that too, and make that belief your inevitable reality. Here lies the first pivotal shift. It's not about fighting your external reality, but about teaching your subconscious a new internal narrative. Think about it. When you watch a thrilling movie, even knowing it's fiction, your body reacts as if it were real. Your heart races, tears fall, you feel excitement, you smile, you are moved. This happens because the subconscious doesn't differentiate between reality and imagination when the experience is felt with intensity. This is the very mechanism you must learn to use to convince your mind that abundance is already your life. But how do you generate this state? The answer lies in the union of imagination and emotion. Imagination alone is fragile. It evaporates quickly. Emotion alone is chaotic. It can trap you in painful memories. But when you unite imagination with a deep emotion of gratitude, trust, and certainty, you create a powerful bridge that can permeate the subconscious. And once it is permeated, it has no choice but to transform that into manifest reality. Perhaps you're thinking, but how can I feel gratitude for something I don't have yet? This is the great reversal of logic that changes everything. The secret isn't to wait to have something to then be thankful, but to be thankful beforehand, as if you already have it. This reversal deceives, or rather educates, the subconscious to accept as real what the conscious mind still doubts. It's like planting a tree. You don't see the fruit on the first day, but if you act as if the harvest is inevitable, watering it, caring for it and trusting, growth happens. Now stop for a moment and imagine. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire. Don't just visualize it like a distant film. Step into the scene, feel the texture of the clothes you would wear, hear the sounds of the environment, notice the smells, experience the joy of being in that place. Bring in every detail until the feeling of reality is undeniable. Do this consistently, and the subconscious will begin to yield. It will start to accept that this is not a fantasy, but an anticipated memory. Joseph Murphy was very clear about something. The subconscious is moved by convictions, not by efforts. The universe doesn't respond to what you beg for, but to what you have already accepted as part of yourself. When acceptance is total, manifestation is automatic. And that is why so many people fail, because deep down they are still waiting for external signs before they believe. They continue to ask like beggars instead of decreeing like creators. And I ask you, how many times have you given up on a dream because you didn't see enough evidence? How many times has the fear of lack spoken louder than the certainty of abundance? The pain of feeling distant from the life you desire is proof that the subconscious has not yet been convinced. As long as it resists, you will feel like you're walking against the current. but it doesn't have to be this way. And that point happens when you decide, consciously and deliberately, to assume the identity of someone who already lives in abundance. It's an internal pact. From the moment you begin to act, feel, and think as if you already have it, the subconscious won't resist for long. It bows because that is its nature, to adapt to the strongest, most repeated, and most emotionally charged command. This is where the practice Joseph Murphy most advocated comes in, the use of nocturnal imagination. Before you fall asleep, the subconscious opens up in a special way. In this state between wakefulness and sleep, the defenses of the conscious mind weaken, and whatever you focus on is absorbed much more easily. That's why he recommended that you lie down already imagining yourself living your desired life, feeling it as if it were real, not as a request, but as a natural scene. Each night, you plant that certainty deeper. Each night, the conviction grows. It may seem too simple, but genius often lies in simplicity. The human mind loves to complicate things, to think it needs elaborate techniques and endless rituals, when in reality, all it needs is to consistently repeat the same truth until the subconscious absorbs it. And at this point, I want to give you a special piece of advice. Don't wait until tomorrow to start. As you listen to me now, decide within yourself that abundance is already yours. It is not a prize, not a future goal. It is your essence. The money, the opportunities, the blessings, all of it is merely a reflection of an inner truth you can activate today. That is why I left a special gift in the first pinned comment. Click the link, because it will amplify this process and help you solidify this certainty within your subconscious. You will see that it's not just any content, but an essential step on this journey. Now imagine yourself a few months from now, living the transformation that began today. Imagine looking back and realizing that everything changed because you dared to believe before you could see. That is the reversal Joseph Murphy wanted you to understand. You don't need to wait for external change to feel abundance. You need to feel abundance for the external change to occur. And there is something even more powerful I must reveal to you. When the subconscious finally accepts abundance, it isn't just your financial life that transforms. It's as if your entire vibrational field changes. You start attracting different people, different situations, opportunities that once seemed impossible. Your energy expands, and others feel this in an almost magnetic way. You don't force, you don't plead, you simply become. And when you become, the universe has no choice but to respond. And hold on to this. The final revelation I want to share is precisely what completes this entire cycle. The real technique is not just to imagine or give thanks in advance. It is to live each day with the courage to not turn back. It is to resist the temptation to look at the lack and instead affirm, "No, I already have it. It is already mine." It is to stand firm even when nothing around you seems to confirm it, because it is at that point that manifestation is closest. It's like the dark hour just before dawn. If you give up at that moment, you miss the most powerful part. Therefore, choose now. Choose to convince your subconscious that abundance is not a distant future, but your present truth. Choose to feel today what you wish to harvest tomorrow. Choose to believe without needing proof. Because when the mind believes, the universe obeys. And remember, the final key is to never go back. Once the subconscious has been imbued with certainty, hold fast. Abundance is already yours. With every word you have heard so far, something within you has begun to shift. Perhaps it was a spark, a warmth in your chest, or even a doubt accompanied by hope. This is a sign that your subconscious is already being touched. And it is at this point that the conclusion becomes not just an ending, but a beginning, an opening to the life you have always known deep in your soul was possible. Joseph Murphy didn't speak of magic tricks or illusions. He spoke of something greater, simpler, and more profound. the ability every human being has to reprogram their mind and consequently their destiny. And this reprogramming does not depend on luck, superhuman effort, or perfect circumstances. It depends only on one decision: to assume abundance as already existing, already present, already yours. But I know you might still feel resistance. It's natural. After all, you have been conditioned for years to believe you can only feel prosperous when your bank account is full, when your debts are paid, when life is perfect. This conditioning is the invisible prison that keeps millions trapped in a cycle of scarcity. And the pain of feeling imprisoned by this belief is real. It's like carrying chains that no one can see, but that weigh you down every single day. And here is the most important point. You can break those chains today. Because what keeps scarcity alive is not your external circumstances, but the internal certainty that they cannot change. When you alter that certainty, the external has no choice. It bends, it yields, it transforms. Imagine for a moment living without these chains. Imagine waking up in the morning feeling the confidence that life is flowing in your favor. Imagine opening your wallet, looking at your bank account, and feeling gratitude, not because a miracle happened overnight, but because you know the flow never stops, that abundance is continuous, that you are connected to an infinite source. Imagine smiling as you realize that everything that once seemed distant now presents itself naturally, without effort, without struggle. This is what happens when the subconscious is convinced. It begins to operate on a new frequency, and that frequency creates a field that attracts exactly what you vibrate. It is not coincidence, not chance, it is law. The law of attraction responds to the command of the subconscious, and when that command is abundance, the response is inevitable. Now I want you to realize something. All this knowledge is useless if you do not act. Not by acting out there in desperation trying to control the world, but by acting within yourself every single day until this new conviction is so strong that nothing can shake it. That is when you cease to be a beggar and become a creator. That is when life bows to your certainty. And remember, it is not about wanting it fiercely. It is about living it naturally. It is not about asking the universe. It is about decreeing internally. It is not about hoping it will happen one day. It is about accepting that it has already happened. This acceptance changes everything. So, if you have felt something new being born inside you, do not let it fade. Nurture this feeling, reinforce this certainty. And to help you deepen this process even further, I have left a gift in the first pinned comment. Click the link and allow yourself to dive deeper into this journey. It will be like watering the seed you have just planted. And now, before you go on with your life, I must leave you with one last thought. Abundance is not something you achieve. It is something you uncover. It is not out there, hidden in vaults, banks, or scarce opportunities. It has always been inside you, waiting to be acknowledged. Your subconscious is the door, and the key is to convince it that you already have, you already are, you already live it. The life you desire is not a distant dream. It already exists in potential, awaiting only your conviction, and that conviction can begin today. Now, in this very moment, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and tell yourself, I am already abundance. I already live in prosperity. I already have everything I need. Repeat this until the phrase is no longer just words, but a felt truth. Because when you feel it, the subconscious registers it. And when the subconscious registers it, the universe obeys. If this message touched you, if any part of these words lit a flame within you, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and allow more people to find this path. The more this message spreads, the more people will awaken to the power they carry within, and you will be part of that transformation, the journey doesn't end here. In fact, it is just beginning. The decision to convince your subconscious is the decision to claim the life that has always been yours by right. Now it's up to you. Choose to live in abundance. Choose to believe before you see. Choose to become the creator of your own reality, because abundance is already yours. It always was, and it always will be, and now you hold the key to experience it fully.